What's up, slappers? Let's do some G1, cause G, I wanna. Now, if you're watching this, chances are this isn't gonna be the first time you'll have heard me clang on about G1, unless it is. Welcome to the show. So you'll probably know that a lot of my most beloved plastic babies come from the 1987-88 Decepticons with their cool-ass colours and madcap variety. Cause like, what were the Autobots up to? Oh, cars! More blue and red cars! Whoop-de-flippin' doobles, bitch. So I've never really paid the bots of that era that much attention. And nobody caught the cold shoulder quite as hard as the Power Masters. Like, I could barely even tell you who there was. I mean, obviously Optimus Prime, Double Dealer, Getaway, you know. And it's not like I'm trying to big up willful ignorance, but it can be nice to have something left to find out. Cause man, as a long-time Transformers collector, there's this kind of tacit, unhealthy expectation that you should always know everything about everything. So there's kind of a forbidden thrill in discovering a really cool old-school figure you had no idea existed. And baby, spicy. Which brings me to Slapdash, a red-hot slice of forgotten G1 that I stumbled upon at TF Nation this year. And if you'll have me, I'd like to tell you why I love him. First of all, I'm a sucker for a lesser-known character, and Slapdash is so lesser-known that he seems to barely even be a character. Like, there aren't that many bots that fit his description, but he's still somehow the last guy you think of. Like, there's a way more famous guy who's a blue race car, and a yellow race car, and a blue and yellow race car. Slapdash truly is not anybody. Just part of the background melange, a barely there bit part characterized as a feckless knobhead who can't get anything right, and I love those. Now, as a toy, I'll concede that at first he might not be super palatable, with his skewed proportions, weird unappealing flat surfaces, and baby school primary colours, but bear with him. You gotta give it a minute. He really is a car former outside the box, because we're used to seeing like maybe 3 or 4 main car former body types. The Bumblebee Wheeljack belly roof, the Jazz Prowl titty bumper, the Sideswipe hot rod hood slab, and everything on the back, or the Stunticon. But Slapdash don't fit your template, man. Like, his feet are the middle of the car, the wheels are scattered all over the shop, and the front of the vehicle is his wang? He just hits different, because he's so physically unconventional and complexly constructed, which clashes with how basic and chunky the plastic looks. It kind of gives you this uneasy feeling that I call the Slapdash whiplash. I mean, check out this wonderfully wide weirdo. He's like full horizontal with this grotesquely girthy corpus clump and these bonkers broad shoulders just haphazardly mounted directly on the side. These arms are like comically chunky, like enormous blocks of cartoon cheese with these pathetic little hands and boring grey elbow girders grafted on, and the chunkiest tires that ever existed blasting out the top of him like Rolos. And from the waist down, old Dash Potatoes is actually a total whack show, actually. Like, the legs are these big wibbly welly boots with all peculiar cutouts and indents and outdents, and he doesn't seem to have thighs. It's like he's missing a whole chunk here, like a burger that's been squished down and a bunch of them spilled out the side, like racing wheel relish. I'm also getting mad Studio Ironhide chopped in half vibes from this big stupid front wing loincloth. It's large, flat, and grey. But am I complaining? It feels like I'm complaining. I'm totally not complaining. He just feels so fun and frivolous, so chipper and carefree, maybe even a little slipshod and, dare I say it, Slapdash? Yeah, I hate to be this guy, but I feel like maybe he could have done with a touch more polish. Like, the head's just a sort of soft-focus sci-fi crash helmet with his face buried in there somewhere in disappointing unbroken orange. And honestly, he's a touch more screw-heady than I'd prefer. A touch screw-headier, with 2 big horrible ones on each shoulder and this one poking right out the centre of him. Bit unusual on the old accessories and all. Like, he's got the standard cool-ass over-designed future laser zapper. This chest chunk pops off and slams on his arm as a sort of shield, I suppose. But then he's got this big, weird, empty grey backpack, or dash tray, which looks for all the world like it's supposed to slot on his front like a burly breastplate, but that's precisely what it doesn't do. It just ponks on the back in case you need a 4th spot to keep the engine block. And of course old Dashley Slapperson's repping the Power Masters with this tiny orange lad named Lube. Oh, grow up. So you can transform Senor Slippery Dick with an incredibly painful looking sideways knee snap and slam him into the chest box to give old Slappin a shot of chromed up and transformation enabled mechanical machismo. I gotta tell you, I'm so here for this. This is what I'm here for. Honestly, it's such a welcome helping of marvellously muddled mid-period G1 action slamming into my life after 30 years with the honking heavy plastic, the minimal articulation, and a seeming self-awareness of precisely how shonky chunky it is. He thick, he brick, but most importantly, you're not trying to be slick. So yes, once you've slammed little Admiral Astroglide in there and endured the worrying snaps and creaks from the decades-old mechanism, the transformation pure slaps. Like, he basically folds entirely in half, and then one half splits and flips while the other one does a full-body double-arm orbit. It's mad shit. Also, mercifully, this little nose tip's actually designed to pop off, which can be a bit annoying, but like, if it was on there solid, I would have definitely broken it. Just saying, there's a version of this video somewhere out there in another universe where I'm saying more like Slapdash to my 18 million subscribers. Anywhomsteveristus, the race car mode's incredible fun. It's just a big, stupid, slim, thick, plastic Formula 1 car. And isn't it so much more relatable than most of the other G1 robo racers? Because, like, of course we love Mirage and Dragstrip, but they're both so weirdly, needlessly specific race car models from the 1970s. Well, this one's the more enduring, standardized Formula 1 shape. And, like, I don't know your life, but for me, that is motor racing. Check it out, sporting that evocative swooshy chassis and cheeky shallow seat, the giant ass wheels and sticky outy suspension, the tapered nose cone and front wing, like a missile with a mustache. It's even sort of the same colours that Nigel Mansell used to have back when I was paying attention. Cause, listen, I'm so deep in Transformers at this point that it's unusual for one to bring up any forgotten feelings about anything other than Transformers. But just looking at this thing, I can hear that Fleetwood Mac bassline rumbling up, the scream of the engines, Murray Walker's frantic nasal babbling. Formula 1 was a big part of my cozy family Sunday afternoons. You know, before life happened and everything changed. So this does make me feel some kind of way. And yeah, this is clearly more about me than it is about Slapdash, but I think what I'm trying to say is that Slapdash is just the perfect pure racing transformer for my world. It's as brilliant and ballsy as it is thunky and stupid, and it's extremely 1988. But like, it's so rare that a car mode makes me like feel actual emotions. Still though, he does present us with a few choices to make around the accessories and particularly little Lube Skywalker here, and there doesn't seem to be a perfect answer, because you can leave him wedged in the back end there for the ridiculous exposed motor boy racer rat rod look, but I massively prefer the smooth contours of the engine block with bonus twisted metal battle mode. Thing is though, that leaves poor Lube at a loose end. I mean, it's not like there's a cockpit he can slide into. Anyway, check out the rear end. Check out the rear end with this massive aerodynamics-defying house brick tail fin. Even the kindest critic, and that is me, remember, even the kindest critic would say that this is considerably clunkier than would be ideal. But you can drape the old backpack over it if you want, and I can't decide if that helps. Like, it does streamline things a bit, and I guess it looks a bit more mechanical and Transformers-y, but overall it just feels more cohesive without it. I don't know, the yellow looks nicer. It's good that you've got options, but for me, without the gun, without the cover, without lube, it just feels tighter. Oh, grow up. How's that for Made for Kids? Thew presents I'll Tell You When You're Older, the channel, Lube Grind. So, what next for Slapdash? Well, here's the thing, this has been a stealth every toy of this character review. This is it for Slapdash. It's just him. But I'm quietly hoping for a Generation Select Slapdash repaint of Siege Mirage. I mean, they're both an F1 car with a spoiler like a brick wall. They both transform in a similarly weird and weirdly similar way. Come on. If an absolute zilch like Lancer can get a figure, if they're really out here making up Seekers, then this lad's gotta be in with a shout. But until such a thing comes to pass, I'm quite content to bask in the cornflower and butterscotch glow of Power Master Slapdash. Just straight up 100% the fastest dipshit alive. Slapsolutely dashbulous. Random patron shout-out. Alright, big thanks to Toyfu for keeping this guy so crisp, and to Rich on eBay for helping me complete him. But mainly big patrony thanks to Sean McKenna for supporting the show, you absolute hero. See you at the finish line.
Be sure to subscribe for more Thew's awesome Transformers reviews. Limited appeal, keeping it real.